Hello you lovely people. Some of you may have seen my recent video of the endurance test for the DC Designs F-4 Phantom II. That was the J79 variant, and I thought it'd only be fair that the Spey gets a shot, so we'll do an endurance test for that. It's going to be exactly the same as the J79. We're going to be doing with no wind. First flight will be flight level 100, and we're going to find out the top speed and range. Then again we'll rerun the test again, flight level 400 this time, and again with no wind, to find out the top speed and the distance. Now you've got to bear in mind that these are controlled tests. The results will vary depending on external factors like weather, things of that nature. So my results won't necessarily reflect what you may get at your end. So just bear in mind, this is a controlled test. Everything is run exactly the same for both engine types. So with that, let's get into the FGR.2. Right, let's just get ourselves set up for the run. Everything's where it should be. And today we are in XV421 of the 1435 flight at RAF Mount Pleasant, Falkland Islands. Right, let's get this ball rolling. Toe brakes on, brakes off, and reheat now. And I'm going to start lifting the nose at around about 150 knots. Okay, and she's heavy. Got to remember that this one is heavier than the J79 variant. Gear up, flaps up, and let's get set up. Just going to gain a little bit of height before turning on to 090. Okay, I'm just going to adjust that now, activate it. Okay, let the aircraft do what it needs to do, and once it's settled we can start climbing to flight level 100 again. And now we can start prepping to climb up to 10,000 feet, so we'll switch off the autopilot, lift the nose, and just let it climb nice and gentle. Start leveling off now, and switch on the autopilot again, let it couple, let it settle. There we go. Now, unlike the J79 video where I just sped everything up, I'm just going to jump cut to each border crossing and things like that, so we'll do that in a second. Such a beautiful machine and such a beautiful livery. As you can see, the big Martin's cross on the tail there. That was back in 1941, I believe. 14355 was for Martin Hurricane 2s. There's a little bit of history there for you. Okay, so I'm going to jump cut to the border crossings now, and with any landmark sort of numbers that I need to bring to your attention. So let's start with that now. So as you can see from the Rio's radar scope, we are coming up to the Dutch border, Friesland, or around that area. So yeah, as normal, over the island there with the bombing range on it that I often point out in my videos. So yes, we're going to be crossing over into the Netherlands. As you can see from the on-screen HUD, we have achieved what looks like the maximum speed at the moment of Mach 1.32. So be interesting to see where it goes from there. We're now coming up to our next border crossing with Germany. Not far out now. Und willkommen in Deutschland. So we just passed Soltau and coming up to Immingen, where the J79 decided that it didn't want to play ball anymore and it had finished all its drink. Coming up on the left hand side, we've still got 8% fuel left, so yeah, just over there to the left, this is where the J79 popped its clogs. So 7% fuel now. This is going to get interesting. Okay, and now we're on our 5% fuel warning, and let's just see how much further we can get. Right, 1%. How much longer will these Speys keep running for? I mean, they really do take their time with the fuel. Seem to be a lot more economic than the J79s. We've hit 0. Just wait for the flame out. And there it is. Okay, so we are just south of Sullendorf. Okay, so I'll mark that down on the map so we can measure it out. Let's get to the flight level 400 test. Right, let's not fanny about, let's get this bird in the air. Full military, brakes on, brakes off, reheat. Come on, come on, come on. Rotate again at around about 150 knots. Okay, we're up, gear up, flaps up, trim up slightly. Okay, get the heading bug where we are, tune the autopilot to heading selected, switch on said autopilot, and apart from, well, actually no, we will do pitch, we'll do an early turn. 090, here we come. Right, let's go up to 40,000 feet, switch off the pitch, lock, pull up. Nice and easy, so we keep the speed, although we are gaining speed still. And I spoke too soon. Okay, so it's going to take us a little while to get to 40,000, so I will jump cut to that. So that's 40,000 feet. Switch the autopilot back on. Ever so slightly over. Let it settle out. And I think that will do for now. Just at slightly over 40,000. I mean, just by 700 feet. And it's still dropping by the looks of things, ever so slowly. Right. Okay, so that was the east coast of England. Let's go over to the Netherlands. And as you can see, we are now heading towards the Netherlands. There's my little bombing range down there, and that's our first border crossing coming up, of many I hope. Okay, so we're very much over the Netherlands now, so let's get to the next border crossing. Crossing over into Germany now. Okay, we'll see what that brings. At the moment we are travelling at Mach 2.27, which seems to have hit a bit of a wall there. And we've still got 61% fuel left. be slightly longer by the looks of things. Vapor trail. Seems to be a bit more traffic up at 40,000 feet. We're coming up to Berlin now, just on the right hand side of the aircraft. I sit down there. So I'd show that in the video for reasons. Not far from Poland now, so onto the border crossing. Crossing over into Poland now. As you can see, the sun is setting rather quickly now. Gotta say, the sunset is looking rather beautiful. And just to bring up your attention, Warsaw is on the nose there, all the lights. So we're not far from the Belarusian border. It really does look good. So yeah, like I say, there's Warsaw just off the nose there. Brest is on my nose, and I don't mean that in a weird way. The city of Brest in Belarus. So we're not far from the Belarusian border now. And we still have a little bit of fuel left. A bit more than the J79 did, that's for sure. That's me now in Belarus, so let's see how far we get in this time. And there's the city of Brest and the safety of the airport just there as well. And there's the 5% fuel warning. Right, okay, that's not right. Apparently that thing flying out my left hand side is a Singapore Airlines C-17. Nope. Now down to 1%. Let's wait for the flame out. Seems like I'm waiting forever. Zero. Remember, both of these tests on J79 and Spey were done with full reheat from takeoff to flame out. Boom, there we go. Okay, so it looks like I'm just outside, south of the town of Zarechka. And the results are in. For the Spey engined FGR.2 with no wind flight level 100, we achieved a top speed of Mach 1.32. That's 0.21 slower than J79. We ended up at Sullendorf in Germany at 395 nautical miles away before flame out. At flight level 400 with no wind, we achieved Mach 2.27. That's 0.04 slower than J79, and we achieved a distance of 929 nautical miles, and we ended up at Zarechka, Belarus. So, I mean, the Spey is more powerful. If I just read up some of the stats here, I mean, they're on Wikipedia, so take them with a pinch of salt. We have a Spey boasts a dry thrust of 12,140 pounds-feet, and wet it's 20,500 pounds-feet. And we compare that with the J79. The J79 has dry thrust of 11,905 pounds-feet, and wet with Afterburner 17,845 pounds-feet. So the Spey is considerably more powerful in the reheat phase, and yeah, it's the trade-off. It swings and roundabouts really. It all depends if you want to go a little bit further. I guess it's a bit more economic. I mean, just because the engine's more powerful doesn't mean it has a higher top speed. The Spey had a max speed of Mach 1.9, whereas the J79, its maximum speed was Mach 2.23. So, like I say, just because the Spey is more powerful doesn't necessarily mean it's going to have a higher top speed. So it's a trade-off really. I mean, you can have that little bit more distance for speed, which is around about 30 nautical miles in flight level 100. Flight level 400, it's around about 53 nautical miles. So the endurance test, yes, the Spey is a bit more economic, and it also flies out a little bit further, but at the same time the J79 achieves a higher top speed. So it's there's not much in it, I suppose, if you really want to look at it that way. Not much of a trade-off. So you know, it was interesting to find out. So yeah, it was a bit of fun, I suppose. Anyway, if you stuck with me this long, thank you for watching. I may do something similar down the line with other aircraft. I don't know yet. I'm trying to think of other videos that I can do rather than just demos. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.